Another problem that you might encounter in the board exam is one that involves the tangent-secant theorem and the cross-chord theorem. A tangent line is a line intersecting a circle at only one point. So let us consider this problem. We have here a tangent line intersecting the circle at point T. Okay? And two secant lines intersecting the tangent line at point A, the secant lines BC and secant line DE. Now, a chord is a segment included inside the circle by a secant line. So let us consider here the chord BC intersecting another chord that is chord DE at point A. Notice in both my drawings, point A is the intersection of the tangent line, secant line, and the cross chords. A is the intersection. Now, it can be proven that TA times TA equals BA times CA equals DA times EA. Tabaka, die. Kuha niya? The proof of this is using peripheral angle theorem. However, I will just skip the proof. So, let us try to have this problem. We're asked here to find the area of the shaded region, the white region, formed by intersecting chords whose small segments are 2, 16, 4, as shown in the drawing. So, ang tatandaan nyo dito, whenever the area being solved, one of the boundaries is an arc of a circle, always begin with a sector containing that arc. So let us define the sector containing the arc, which is the other side of the shaded region, whose sides are 2 and 4. So yung sector containing that arc is this sector. So let us call the subtended angle as theta, the central angle, and the radius as r. So notice here that the area of the shaded region is equal to the area of the sector minus the area of the triangle. So for reference sake, maglagay tayo dito ng mga points. Let's call the point of intersection of the two chords with segments 16, 4, 2, and 1 is unknown. Let us call the intersection as A. And we call the chords that diameter as diameter BC and the other chord DE. And let me call the center as center point O. So this triangle is triangle AEO. Yung area ng sector, as we said, as we discussed yesterday, is theta r squared over 2, wherein theta must be expressed in radians. Minus area of the triangle, you can use different formulas for the area of the triangle. Pwedeng 1/2 base height, pwedeng Heron's formula, or pwedeng SAS formula. I will be using here my favorite dahil sosolve naman natin yung theta, the formula using an angle. That is the SAS formula. It's half the product of sides sine of angle. So it would be the area is 1/2 product of the two sides, that is including theta. They are AO, and the other side is EO, but EO is radius times the sine of the angle theta. So in order to solve the area of the shaded region, we need theta, we need r, and we need AO. As you can see in the figure, AO can be solved if we know r, because point O is a center, OB is a radius. So yung AO is simply This one is simply radius minus 2. So basically, we just need r and theta. Let me call this as equation 1. So how are we going to solve theta? Unahin natin isolve yung r. Now, as you can see, yung 216, 4, they were formed using intersecting chords. So, we apply now the formula, the Tata-Baka-Dice formula. Tata equals Baka equals Die. No? Tata-Baka-Die. So, wala naman tayong tangent line, cross chord lang. So, we apply this. Our BA from the figure is 2. Our CA is unknown. So, let me call the CA. Our DA is 16. Our EA is 4. So, solving our CA, it's 64 over 2. Our CA is going to be equal to 32. But take note from the drawing, CA plus 2 is a diameter. So, our diameter of the circle is CA plus 2. So, CA plus 2 is 34. And the radius is diameter over 2. And this must be 17. So, 1 down. Isa na lang ang problema. Theta. Let us solve theta. Let us solve theta. Now, before that, let us solve AO. Para tapos na to. Our AO is simply what? It's R minus 2. So, this is 17 minus 2, it's 15. So, R and AO are solved. Just one problem to be solved. Theta. So, para ma-solve natin yung theta, consider triangle AEO. Let me isolate triangle AEO. Now, dun sa triangle AEO, following the rule of 3, meron tayong AO, which is 15, meron tayong R, which is 17, and yung isang side, 4. 3 sides, can we solve the angle? Yes. We were able to satisfy the rule of 3. So, paano natin sosolve yung theta? Cosine law. Okay? Hindi pwedeng sine law because sine law will be applicable if you know a pair side and opposite angle that are known. Puro sides ang given, walang known opposite angle. So, we apply cosine law. Applying cosine law, in as much as we want to solve theta, let me begin with the side opposite of theta. What is the side opposite theta? It's 4. So, you have 4 squared is equal to 15 squared plus 17 squared minus twice their product, 2 times 17 times 15 cosine of the angle opposite 4, and that is theta. So this is one equation in terms of theta. Now, since theta na kailangan natin dito is in radians, ang gawin natin para wala na tayong kailangan conversion, yung calculator natin, iset muna natin sa radian mode. So, kung sinet natin yan sa radian mode, tapos sinolve natin to ng shift solve, ang sagot ng theta naka-radian. Pero kung yung calculator mo is naka-degree mode, pagka sinip solve mo to, yung theta na lalabas is in degrees. Kuha? So, in radian, naka-radian mode kapag sinolve mo yan, this is, theta is going to be 0.217 radians. So, kung kailangan mo yan ng degrees, kung gusto mo sa degrees talaga, edi convert mo lang, multiply it by 180 degrees per pi radians. Radian will cancel, and this would be 12.43 degrees. Meron na tayong theta in radians, merong A o merong R, tapos na ang kwento. So, if we will solve our area of shaded region now using equation 1. Substituting to this equation 1, the area of our shaded region is going to be equal to theta in radians 0.217 multiplied by r squared 17 squared over 2 minus 1/2 of AO. Our AO is 15 multiplied by R. Our R is 17 times the sine of the angle theta. Yung theta natin dito, pwedeng naka-degree, pwedeng naka-radian. Ang mandatory radian lang is etong theta na to. Tandaan nyo sa mga formulas natin, pag ang theta ay lumabas without the sine, cosine, or tangent, talagang theta lang. Dapat naka-radian yan. So, pero pag may kasamang sine, or cosine, or tangent, bahala ka kung anong unit ang gagamitin mo. Importante lang, yung mode ng calculator mo, saka yung unit ng theta mo, ng angle, parehas. Anong ibig kong sabihin? Ganito. Halimbawa, ang gusto mong gamitin sa calculator, radian mode. So, dapat ang gamitin mo dito ay 0.217 radian. Tapos, naka-radian mode ka, ha? O kung kaya, kung ang pinindot mo dito is sine of 12.43 degrees, eto, sine of 12.43 degrees. Pero pag pindot mo nito, naka-degree mode ka. Okay? Kung sine of 0.217 radian ang pinindot mo, tapos naka-radian mode ka, tignan mo yung value. Tapos, i-compare mo siya sa sine of 12.43 degrees, pero naka-degree mode ka. Parehas lang ang value. You get it? So, ang importante lang, kung ano ang unit ng, degree, ng angle na gagamitin mo, yun yung mode ng calculator mo. Okay? Pagka naka-degree mode ka, tapos radian yung theta mo, mali ang sagot mo. Pag naka-radian mode ang calculator mo, pagkatapos degree ang unit ng angle mo, mali ka pa rin. Ulitin ko ha, dapat ang mode ng calculator at ang unit ng angle parehas. Clear? Okay. So, if you compute this now, you'll be able to get the area. The area is going to be 3.91 square units. So, ulitin natin. Pag ang pinapasolve sa'yo ay part ng circle, kahit ano pa yung area, kahit ganitong itsura, if one of the boundaries of this area required is an arc of the circle, always begin by defining the sector containing this arc. So, define mo lang yan, 100% sure. Magsisimula ka dito sa area na to ng sector, and the area of the sector as we derived yesterday is theta r squared over 2. You follow? Okay? Another variation of problem that you might encounter in the board exam is that involving the triangle-circle relationship. Now, the first relationship of a triangle and circle is when we have an inscribed triangle. When we say inscribed triangle, we consider here this triangle ABC. and the radius of the circumscribing circle as r, the governing formula is the area of the triangle is A times B times C over 4R. Now, ang code dito para hindi nyo makalimutan, look at this. If you draw here the circle, nag-drawing ka ng circle, tapos you draw a triangle inside with sides A, B, and C. When you draw a triangle inside the circle, look at what happened. You divided it into 4 regions. 1, 2, 3, and the one inside the triangle, 4. So basically, yung formula tells us yung nangyari. Ang buong circle divided into 4 regions. Kuha? Okay. Now, a second case is when you have the inscribed circle. Yung circle ang nasa loob and it is tangent to all the sides. Ang governing formula naman dito is the area of the triangle is R times S. So, yung S is the semi-perimeter. I discussed that yesterday. A plus B plus C over 2. So, kung bubuuin niyo yung formula, di ba? The area of the triangle is R times S. Buo tayo ng word, arise. No? Parang, nung elementary tayo, di ba, tinuruan tayo mag-drawing ng sun? Ganito. Di ba, pag-drawing natin ng sun, pag ganun, parang medyo gwapo ng konti. Ayan, di ba? So, parang ganun yung itsura. Isipin nyo lang, arise. Pero, 3 arrows lang yung sun, or 3 rays, no? Pero, this formula, arise, is not limited to a triangle. Now, pwede rin yan if we have here a circle and it is inscribed, the circle is inscribed in any polygon with any number of sides. Ang formula pa rin ito. But the area here will be the area of the polygon and S here is the semi-perimeter of the polygon, meaning sum of the sides divided by 2. So, applicable pa rin ito. Kuha? Now, the third situation is when you have an inscribed triangle. What is an inscribed triangle? An inscribed triangle is a triangle that is tangent to all the sides internally. But this one, eto, yung ating inscribed or ascribed triangle or ascribed circle is a circle that is tangent to all the sides externally. Paanong mangyayari yan na ang circle tangent sa lahat ng sides externally? Ganito. Let me extend all the sides of B, A, and C. So, if I will draw a circle that is tangent to side A and tangent to the prolongation of the other 2 sides, that is ascribed circle to side A with radius R sub A. That red circle. Now, if we have here that circle, that bluish gray, tangent to side B, and tangent to the prolongation of the other 2 sides, that is ascribed circle to side B with radius R sub B. Now, lastly, the green circle is tangent to the actual side C and tangent to the prolongation of sides A and B. That is ascribed circle to side C and whose radius is R sub C. Kuha? Now, the governing formula there for ascribed circle is para lang inscribed circle. Arise din. Kaya lang, yung R natin, di ba? RA, RB, RC, magkakaiba eh. So, pag ito RA, yung S mo, i-bold mo lang into S minus A. Kuha niya? Doon pa rin ang formula mo. Parang arise, pero kung ito RA, this is S minus A. Kung ito, RB, this is S minus B. Kung ito RC, this will become S minus C. Kuha? Let us have this problem. Given a circle whose radius is 2 units, an equilateral triangle is inscribed in that circle. Then, another equilateral triangle with an inscribed circle is drawn inside the small circle. Another equilateral triangle with inscribed circle is drawn inside the small circle, and so on. We are asked to find the perimeter of all triangles. So how are we going to solve this? Ganito. Let us begin with that circle with the radius of 2. Inside that, we draw an equilateral triangle with inscribed circle. Inside that, we draw another equilateral triangle with inscribed circle. And so on. Paliit ng paliit, equilateral triangle with inscribed circle. We are asked here to find the sum of perimeters of all triangles. Now, how many triangles will there be? Alam natin kung tutuloy natin yung drawing, there's a limit to how small we can draw. Pero, theoretically, this will not end, right? Correct. This will not end. So it means we are adding triangles which are infinite in number. So the number of perimeters is infinite. So pag ang pagsasama-samahin ay infinite, there's only one solution to that. And that is the war that is infinite. America versus Iraq. Diba? So the sum of infinite geometric progression is America over Iraq. America is the first of terms to be added. So yung A1 natin is the first perimeter of triangle, no? Perimeter of triangle 1. Kasi ang hinahanap natin, triangle 1 plus perimeter of triangle 2 plus perimeter of triangle 3. So yung R natin must be the common ratio. It must be P2 over P1, P3 over P2, and so on. Now, ito yung tatandaan nyo, no? Whenever you are asked to find the sum of certain quantities, and those quantities are related to figures that are derived by following a repetitive process, katulad nito, equilateral triangle with inscribed circle, equilateral triangle with inscribed circle, equilateral triangle with inscribed circle, paulit-ulit lang yung process. So, all perimeters of triangles are in geometric progression. No? Okay, let's do it. So, let us solve the perimeter of the first triangle. Let us call the side as X. So, since yung triangle natin is inside the circle, ganito yung situation. Ito yung circle whose radius is 2. Tapos meron tayong triangle dito whose side is X. So, since equilateral yan, equiangular also, each angle is 60 degrees. So, the governing formula for this equation is 4. Na? Area of the triangle is ang buong circle divided into 4 regions. Let me define the area of the triangle using my favorite formula, the SAS formula. So the area of the triangle is 1/2 product of sides, x times x squared, sine of the angle 60 degrees. Is equal to a times b times c, x times x times x, that is x cubed over 4 times the radius of that circle is 2. One equation in terms of x squared, x cubed, cancel tong x squared na to. Matitira ay x. So, solving our x here, our x is going to be 3.464. This is the side of the first triangle. So, i-define natin to na x1 ha, para side of first triangle. And this one, remember, is the radius. Radius of first circle. The given circle. Okay? So, solving the perimeter of the first triangle, this is 3x1. 3 times 3.464, you'll get this as 10.4 meters. So, meron na tayong perimeter of first triangle. That is our A1. So, 1 down. Let us move to the second triangle. The second triangle is inscribed in the circle that is inscribed in this first triangle, right? So, we will be able to solve x2 if we know r2, correct? Let us first solve the radius of that circle inscribed in the first triangle. Let me isolate the figure. Ito yung triangle natin, and this is the circle inscribed, and this is x1, and we know that x1 is 3.464. Let me call the radius of this as R2. Now, for this problem, nasa loob yung circle, so ang governing formula is arise, di ba? Yung radius natin dito is R2. S is the semi-perimeter, 1/2 of the perimeter. The area of the triangle again is, using the SAS formula, this is 60 degrees. It's 1/2 of XX 3.46 4 squared sine of 60 degrees. Multiplied by or equal to R2, unknown, times S, semi-perimeter, perimeter over 2. But we know the perimeter is 10.4, right? So this is 10.4 over 2. So solving our R2 here, R2 from this equation is 1 meter. It's 1/2 of R1. So solving our R2 here, R2 from this equation is 1 meter. It's 1/2 of R1. Look here. Sa equation na to, parehas ng lahat, di ba? Ganito rin yung figure eh. Para sa X2, ang pinagkaiba lang, R2. So, ibig sabihin, when we apply this formula, di ba? Ito yung R2, ito ngayon yung second triangle, X2. So, applying this same formula, but this time to this figure, you'll have here 1/2 of X2, R2. No? So, it would be the area of the triangle is 1/2 of X2 squared, sine of 60 degrees, is equal to x2 cubed over 4 times R2. This is 1. Ito lang yung nabago. So, solving our x2 here, our x2 is going to be 1.732. Now, we are ready to solve the perimeter of the second triangle. It is equal to x2 plus x2 plus x2, 3x2. 3 times 1.732, you solve that, and you'll get that as 5.2 meters. Now, kung itutuloy mo yan, if you will repeat the same process, you'll get your P3 to be equal to 2.6 P4 to be equal to 1.3 and so on. And checking if there is a common ratio is P4 over P3, is P3 over P2, is P2 over P1. Are these ratios the same? You'll notice they are all equal. So, 1.3 over 2.6 is 0.5, 2.6 over 5.2 is 0.5, 5.2 over P1, 10.4 is 0.5. So, there is a common ratio. Ito na pakita ko ha. P2 is 5.2, P1 is 10.4, and this is 0.5. So, since they are in geometric progression with common ratio, infinite na satisfy yung requirement ng America-Iraq formula. So, therefore, the sum of perimeter of all triangles which are in infinite geometric progression is the war that is forever. America over Iraq. So, America here is the first of terms to be added. It is equal to 10.4 over 1 minus r 0.5. So, you compute this and you'll get this as 20.8 meters. This is the sum of perimeters of all triangles formed, including that of the original triangle. So, pag ang pagsasama-samahin ay infinite, huwag niyong kalilimutan, the word that is infinite or forever. America over Iraq. Kuha niya? So, kung may mga tanong kayo, I really encourage you to comment and reaction dun sa mga videos. And nakita nyo kung ano ang use nitong video na to, nitong online lecture natin. So, encourage your friends. Huwag i-delay ang board exam. Now is the time to review. Hindi natin kontrolado yung future, pero kontrolado natin ang present. So, pag naghintay lang tayo, titigil ang mundo natin. Pero kung nagre-review tayo, may nangyayari sa buhay natin. So, paano kung hindi magkaroon ng board exam sa November 2020? Paano naman kung meron? Di ba? So, parehas lang ang tanong. Paano kung hindi magkaroon? Paano kung meron? Kung meron, kung hindi ka nag-review, talo ka. Wala kang magagawa. Diba? Kung nag-review ka, wala ka talaga magagawa doon. Pero, nakapag-review ka na ng advance para sa May 2021 board exam. So, sinong lamang sa inyong dalawa? Diba? Ikaw ang lamang dahil nakapag-prepare ka na ng advance. So, sabi nga nila, daig ng maagap ang masipag. Nakikinig ka ngayon itong lecture na to, asan ka sa dalawa? Malamang yung maagap ka pa lang, di ba? So, I encourage you, hindi ka lang maagap. Dapat ikaw rin ay masipag. Sige, ha? So, maagap, masipag. Susunod niyan, may kadagdagan kang M. Matalino. Di ba? Meron pang susunod. Di ba? So, mayaman. Di ba? Yan ang nice. Di ba? At, meron pa. Di ba? Magandang lalaki. Magandang babae. Di ba? So, daig ng maagap ang masipag. Pero dapat, pag maagap ka, isunod mo na yung pagiging masipag. Okay? So, see you.